Hello everybody and welcome to Uprising 144K. I'm Hydrogen Man. Okay, before I begin, I am not going to be making any claims for any product or products. I'm not giving any medical advice and I'm not making any medical claims either. Please consult your physicians. And beyond that, guys, today we're going to be talking about how to increase libido and possibly even sexual performance. This is interesting because I stumbled upon some data. I've been actually applying the data on more than one person. And I'm actually shocked at the results. And I have some amazing things to share with you guys today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. A lot of this actually has everything to do with good health. Your health has everything to do with libido, again, good health, and even performance and things of this nature. So the first thing I'll say is that what I discovered is something that works synergistically. I was doing this for my health personally, just for my health, because obviously I had pretty serious medical problems. What I didn't think is that I would uncover all sorts of things that could potentially help with such an issue. So let's go ahead and dive into it. The first thing I'll say is clean water. Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Why would clean water have anything to do with this? When you're properly hydrated, moving blood, but the things that are in our water, not all water is created equal, guys, as far as when you filter it. I'm not a fan of, normal carbon filters, refrigerator filters. Even gravity filters are okay for certain scenarios, mostly emergency. But if you want the cleanest water, why? Because guys, I've seen the lab tests on this stuff. You should see the amount of contaminants. I mean, pages I could show you, like each one of these little things, each one. I mean, there's so much garbage in the water these days. And I don't want to make, such a claim. I personally think there's a lot of garbage in the water. Maybe that's better well said. And what I'm trying to say is that these things can apparently, or whatever, I personally think that they could potentially affect your hormones. And this is going to be a problem. So it all starts with clean water. Does that mean that clean water is going to give you all the libido and the boosting? No, but if you're having effects like this, it could be something that you're doing to yourself, just your water, not proper hydration, or there's certain things in your water that could be affecting you. I always like to start with clean water. And I don't mean any clean water, I mean the cleanest water. So if you want to know what I personally use, it's from mypurewater.com. If you want a discount code, it's uprising144K. That's how I make my water, because it takes basically everything out of it. And that's exactly what I want. So that's the first thing, super clean water. The second thing, and like I said, think of it as a car. You're not just going to put good tires on your car and make it great, or a good engine and make it great. It's the way that a lot of things work synergistically, and this is the same way for the human body. And these are the things that I found that really, really improve the libido performance. It's unbelievable, actually. So let's keep going with this. Hydrogen and clean water are at the foundation, because hydrogen, the #1 university in the world that researches hydrogen and uses it medically, is a Japanese university. And they discovered that the hydrogen appears to open up what they call ghost vessels. Now, before we go into this, I always caution people, be really cautious about how you're making your hydrogen, because if you make it with certain contaminants, that's going to be a problem affecting libido and performance also. And the things that I always stay away from is any device that uses chemicals like lye or sodium hydroxide. I do not use any of those. It's, in my opinion, I personally think it's a terrible way to make hydrogen. And it's mostly done because it's cheap and it's not the right way. Plus using cheap and inferior metals. So I never would use stainless steel for doing hydrogen. I would never use plated metals, because the plated metals, they flake off. And if you're going to start getting metal in your body, guys, in my opinion, I personally think it's a bad idea. These things are not going to help performance. They're not going to help balance out your hormones. If you're going to do hydrogen, you're going to want to do it cleanly and properly. And I like doing the water, and I also like doing the hydrogen gas. The combination of both is what's ideal from what I've personally seen, experienced, the whole thing. So this is foundational. Once you have proper hydration, once you have the hydrogen moving the blood, watch my video 68, you can see how it moves the blood. I've had doctors literally think that that's impossible. And then they watch the video, and then some of them have actually gone and done the exact same tests in their labs, only to prove that it really does work. Hydrogen's incredible, right? So that's foundational. Now, the ingredients that I add on top of that, if you watch my video 396, in regards to my hydrogen smoothie, there's specific ingredients in there that cause the body to produce nitric oxide. They open up blood vessels, guys, more blood flow with the hydrogen. I mean, it's the perfect combination. That's why I have clean water with the hydrogen, and then certain ingredients that cause the body to produce nitric oxide. So all these working together synergistically, and there's even research with nitric oxide and hydrogen, they work beautifully together. So once you have those components all together, then I add some of the magic ingredients. And first of all, in its ionic form, this is vitamin D3 with K2. Why would vitamin D have anything to do with it? as I'm telling you guys, you don't want to be deficient in any nutrients. Vitamin D is extremely hard to get into the body from food, especially because a lot of the foods that have it, in my opinion, I personally think they're not the best foods to eat these days, not because they're not good foods, but because they're so contaminated, a lot of it being seafood. And I've known people who try to eat a lot of seafood, trying to get their vitamin D, and when they get their blood tested, they end up having heavy metals in their body, a lot of them. So that's why I need a really clean, good supplement. I'll try to put, this is a very high-end one. This is what I personally use. I'll put these in the description area, or I'm sorry, the comment area with links if you want one of these. Now the data on D3, I'll just read you a quick thing here. There's ample evidence to suggest that vitamin D can boost libido, okay? One study even found, so they actually have done studies on this, where subjects with vitamin D deficiencies had issues with both their sex drive and overall sexual health. I'm telling you guys, vitamin D is where it's at. You want to use this stuff, but combine it with the fibers and fruits and vegetables. I show you exactly how to do it in my video 396. That's the first thing. Second thing, and this is one of the magic ingredients. This is what started this whole thing off because I read the data on it and I've done a video on it, so you guys can go watch the video if you want, and it's boron. Now, boron in its ionic form. Look, ionic form, in my opinion, is the second best way to get these type of nutrients in your body. The number one is always food, okay? I always try, and I show you guys in the videos, I use a purium powder to make sure to overcome nutritional deficiencies because the purium powder is just food. One of the main ingredients in there is zinc. Zinc from food though, not a pill. I don't like pills. I don't like pills because of the stuff that the binders, the things that are inside of them. I've seen the lab tests and I'm not a huge fan. Okay, I don't like pills. If you notice, everything I'm gonna do is like powders, which is literally the ingredients are food, minerals. A lot of the minerals come from, for example, even ocean minerals, and they remove the salt. I love stuff like that. This is this is good apparently according to the data for brain health, which is gonna be super important. Your ligaments, your bones, and sex hormones, guys, but not just sex hormones for men, sex hormones for both men and women. And this is what I like to see because this is not just about getting more testosterone, which by the way, it actually does appear to affect, you know, your positive testosterone levels. But what I like to see is something that just brings good health, good life, all this stuff inside of you. And then it happens to affect your libido, your ability to perform. And it really goes hand in hand with health, guys. When you have health issues, you tend to have issues in those areas. And this has just been amazing. I've been putting this to the test with multiple people. I'm pretty shocked, but what I'm clearly doing is I'm using my hydrogen protocol, clean water, clean hydrogen. And that's the other issue, as I said before. You want to make hydrogen cleanly because this is going to take, it took months before I really started seeing the results. And you're going to be using hydrogen on the regular if you decide to do hydrogen. You want something extremely clean. Obviously, the device that I personally use because it's the best is the one from holyhydrogen.com. If you want a discount code on that, you can use Uprising144K. I believe that code works. If it doesn't, you can comment below. And it makes both the water and the gas extremely clean, extremely reliable. It's the best way that I have found to make hydrogen, and I know all the different modalities. I don't use any of the other products out there, especially chemicals, and I don't like the pills at all. Those are not the way that, in my opinion, well, that's not the way professionals do it. So the number one university in the world that actually uses hydrogen medically, they do not use any chemicals for their hydrogen. They don't use the cheap metals. They don't give patients pills. It's ridiculous. That's not what they do. So, okay, so that's the number one university and what professionals would actually do. I also like minerals. Now, minerals just because I think it's important not to be deficient in any minerals, because when you clean water to the level that I personally am cleaning it to, it removes everything, including minerals. And it's really cheap though, is the good news. I'll put some of the links down below. Now, this is one of the other ones, chlorophyll. Not a ton of data, but it appears, according to some of the data, that this could actually be very, very helpful for libido also. But I think that the big ones are these guys. The D3 with the boron, in combination with clean water and the hydrogen. Like I said, the things that I've seen are blowing my mind, which is why I'm making this video. And if you really, really want to take it a step further, you'll see that in the smoothie video, I add something called natto. Natto is a fermented bean from Japan, but one of the attributes of it is that it appears to actually thin the blood. It's like a natural statin. The reason that that's a good thing is because the way that the smoothie opens up the blood vessels, getting the body to produce nitric oxide. And when you get the blood moving like crazy, which is what the hydrogen appears to do, watch video 68, it's unbelievable. And then you get all these nutrients in the blood, and then you bring something in like natto, which even thins the blood a little more. So when you're opening up these blood vessels, when you're opening up the ghost vessels with the hydrogen, and the blood is just a little thinner and starts getting into every nick and cranny, guys, that's what you want. You want to get it into every single nick and cranny, bring all the nutrients in, more oxygenation, more hydrogen. Guys, the combination has been unreal. One of these days, doctors are going to realize how amazing this is because they're going to start either telling their patients or using it themselves. And it's absolutely blown my mind. So I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I did months and months of research and even putting it to the test to make sure that it worked before I shared it with you guys. And don't forget to subscribe and share, guys. I mean, subscription is free. But sharing it with others, as a lot of people don't know about these particular options and how they could potentially not just help your health, but also help your life in other ways. So don't forget to do that. And don't forget to support the channel, giving the video a thumbs up and make comments below. It really helps the algorithm so people can actually find the video and people can find these amazing different things that could potentially help you in more than one way. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time on the next one.